Sure enough, okay.
That's where we were.
Yeah, that's where we were.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. Sorry.
It's okay.
I gotta fix the music. It's a little hot.
Okay, Bailey, what you got?
7.
Okay. Elowen.
16.
Okay, looking.
20.
And Thal.
15.
Okay, so we'll go Luke and Elowen, Thal, Bailey. Sorry, I'm gonna pull everything up. Load, please. Scrivener's Tale. Okay, so a stone golem appears in front of you, carved to resemble an 8-foot-tall crowned dwarf. He's holding onto a stone battle axe with glowing purple eyes. Go ahead. You're up first, looking.
Alright, he's gonna pull out his great axe and hold up his shield and go in, enter rage, and go in for a little slicey slice.
Okay. Roll AC.
14.
It does not hit. But you have another attack, right?
Yes.
Go ahead.
That's an 18 plus 7, so...
Yes, that does hit.
And that will be... a... 4... I do believe that is a 4.
Points of damage?
Yeah.
What,
I rolled...
What weapon are you using?
Great axe.
So you go in for the hit and you realize your axe, the stone golem is immune to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical attacks that aren't adamantine.
That aren't what?
Adamantine, it's made out of adamantine.
Oh. Well, that's a problem.
It either had to be a magical attack or something made out of an adamantine. However, what do you have in Eliot's case that he gave you? Is that the axe you're using?
Yeah.
Okay, then yes, that does count as a magical attack. And it's only 4 points of damage?
I rolled a 1!
Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine. Are you ending your turn?
Oh, wait, no. I also get a bonus plus 3 for being enraged, so...
7.
7.
Okay. Next is Elowen.
Elowen is going to cast Thunder Wave, and the golem has to be a 16 con save.
Let's see here. Golem has advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects.
Jesus.
That would have been, you said Constitution? Plus 517 is the higher.
Okay. You'll still take half damage.
Okay. What's half?
So I rolled a 9, so we'll do
4 or 5.
4.
We'll do 5. Okay, are you ending your turn?
Yes.
Thal?
She is going to cast Vicious Mockery on it and has to save a Wisdom saving throw of 14.
12 plus 0, so 12.
So it's 10 points of damage, and then on your next attack roll, you have disadvantage
Okay.
until the end of your next turn.
Alrighty. Go ahead, Bailey.
Alright, Bailey's gonna use one of the daggers from Eliot, and she's gonna throw it, and she's gonna try to aim for its purple eyes. 17.
That hits.
Nine points of damage.
9. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Should just pull that up in a different link. JK, it's another link. Okay, so the stone golem dwarf uses slow. Everyone roll a wisdom saving throw.
21.
18.
19.
Did anyone get below a 17? No? Okay. Alrighty. So the slow spell goes out, but it does not affect you. And then it ends its turn. Back up to Lucan.
So he's gonna go in with another slice or 2.
Okay.
16. 22.
That hits.
And it's another 7.
Okay.
All right, and then oh poop. Well, that's a nat 1.
Okay. That's okay. Obviously, yeah, that does not hit. Next is Elowen.
Elowen is going to summon a woodland being. She is going to summon a dryad.
Okay. So you cast out your spell for summoning, and leaves and vines start to twirl up around you, and a female dryad stands next to you. Let's see. And they will take the turn after you. Let's see. I'll take care of the dryad.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
I got it pulled up here.
I also did. It's all good.
So it's gonna be the dryad is going to use bark skin. And let's see. He's going to give it to Bailey to help her out with her fragileness.
I thought that we
So,
had an hour without.
but
that.
hey,
Oh,
yes,
I'll
that
take
is
it.
yeah, that is correct. But it does help your AC. What's your AC right now?
16.
Okay, perfect. So that you're good on that. You'll take resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. Okay, after that's Thal.
Val is going to be like, okay, cool, that worked. I'm gonna Eldritch Blast, and she'll cast 2 for bloats right at it. And that's full-time math. 22 points of damage.
Right. Sogol comes back. Has to take 5 turns to recharge that. Okay, so it's gonna go after Lucan. Let's see, plus 10, so 13. That does. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, that's fine. That's another 17 to hit.
Yep, that hits.
Okay, and she's gonna use the Black Razor Sword for 13 points of damage.
13. Okay. And then so the first one did not attack, but it's multi-attack. So 16. What's your AC right now, Lucan?
With the shield, it is 16.
Okay, so that does hit. But be taking for that the 19 bludgeoning damage.
I have resistance to bludgeoning.
Perfect. So it's like 8. Okay, back up the top at Lucan.
Alright. Same thing, we're gonna stick with what he knows. And that is a nat 20.
Okay, you'll get double damage.
Which I also have brutal critical, so you can roll 1 additional weapon damage die when determining the extra damage for a critical hit with a melee attack.
Cool.
So how many times am I rolling this total?
So you're gonna roll whatever your normal attack is, times it by 2, and then add an additional attack die.
Alright, so I have a 4 on my dice, but then
So
I
that's
also
8
add 3
plus
plus
3 for rage. So 9, 10, 11.
and plus 3 because I'm proficient in strength.
Okay, 14.
Alright, so that's just 1 roll.
Yep.
And then
Add an extra attack dice.
10, 16.
Okay, cool. I got it down. Lucan goes into battle and absolutely tries to obliterate this golem. Parts of its like stoneness are starting to fall off and debris is scattering. Elowen.
Mm,
Oh yeah.
that was just my first attack, wasn't it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. uh, 13. It's a dirty 20.
So let's
All right, and then 6, 12.
12 points damage. Cool. Okay. Now it's Evelyn.
He's going to cast 2nd level Moonbeam
Okay.
and have to be con of a 16.
On of 16. Okay. Has advantage on spell rolls, so 10. What's its constitution? Plus 5, so 15, so it does not make it.
9 plus 14 damage.
14? Okay, and then the dryad is gonna come over here. And she is going to cast Entangle. Must make a strength check. 14. Ooh, that got a not 20. So take let's see, hold on. Creatures, stream of plants on a successful frees itself. So the dryad tries to create like grasping vines and weeds and stuff around the stone golem, but it's able to break out of it pretty easily. Thal.
Thal is going to cast Eldritch Blast again because it worked so well last time. Only 13 points of damage this time, though. Didn't roll as well.
Okay, well, I mean, you're getting down. Bailey.
All right, same thing. She's gonna attack with Black Razor. 15.
That does not hit.
Okay.
Do you get 2 attacks?
No, I don't think there's much else I can do.
Okay. So then we're back down to the stone golem. The 8-foot tall dwarf. Is going to use 2 slam attacks towards the dryad. Should got one of those was a hit. It's +9, so it hits twice for 36 points of damage on that one. Which
Dryad's done.
yeah, so the dryad dissipates and falls over, but it also gives back 4 points of healing to Elowen for the summoning as it dies.
Does that stack? Like, can she stack that?
No, it's just a one time.
Oh,
I'm fully healed. It's okay.
Oh,
that's what I
okay.
was asking.
Yeah. Basically, it just took the last of its health to go back to Elowen. That's one of the dryads things that I have homebrewed. Because dryads are connected. Yeah, dryads connected to the forest. So if a dryad dies, it tries to heal any type of wildlife in the area. Okay, so then we're back up the top at Lucan.
All right.
You're close.
19.
Yep.
All right.
Roll your other AC too. Roll both.
Okay. 24.
Yep. So just roll 2 attack die.
And that is a 15.
Okay.
And a 8.
8. Okay. So the Storm Golem seems to be like on its last legs here. Elowen.
I'm gonna do Thunder Wave at 2nd level, con of 16.
Advantage plus what's its con +5. Okay, so it's successful. So half damage?
Damage. 7 + 2, 9. 3, 12.
Okay, so the stone golem completely crumbles around, and a glowing key is levitating over its body.
Oh. Okay.
Lucan, you're closest.
All right. He'll reach down and grab it and put it in his bag.
Okay. And then the next stone golem appears, a 10-foot crowned elf. Thal, you're up.
She is out of caution. She's going to cast Vicious Mockery again at this one. So it has to be a con of 14. Not con, wisdom saving throw of 14.
Wisdom is +0 is 16, so it does defeat.
Okay.
So roll. Does it take half damage?
No, but let me see if I have any not reaction, but you know what I mean. Bonus actions. I don't have many. No. Okay, go ahead. I don't want to waste time.
No, you're fine. Bailey.
Okay, so since it hasn't attacked yet, I'm gonna use sneak attack. If I had advantage on it and I roll a nat 1, I still get to roll again, right?
You take whatever nat you have, so no.
Okay, never mind.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, roll. For shits and gigs, roll it.
That was a 19, so it would
Okay.
be 27.
If it was if it was a nat 20, I would have allowed it.
That's fine.
Okay. Do you end your turn? Okay, everyone, roll a. Wisdom saving throw.
14.
And
10.
11.
Okay. So it casts out slow. Anyone below a 17 wisdom saving throw, you cannot use your reaction, your speed is halved, and you can't make more than one attack during your turn. In addition, the target can take either an action or a bonus action on its turn, but not both. These effects last for 1 minute, and the target can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on a success.
okay.
Okay. So then we're back up to Lucan.
And I only get one.
Correct.
Well, I rolled a 2, so I'm not even gonna bother.
You can now roll a another wisdom saving throw.
So nat 1.
Okay, yeah. So the spell still takes effect. Elowen.
One's gonna cast poison spray.
Okay.
Constitution saving throw of 16 has to beat it.
It beat it.
It beat it, so only half damage.
And you realize too that it is immune to poison damage.
Oh,
Gotcha. Okay.
shit.
Thal.
She's just going to one more time try vicious mockery. 14 again.
I got a 9, but it gets advantage on saving throws against spells. 12. What is it? A Constitution?
Wisdom.
Wisdom is +0, so it got a 12 as its highest. So no, it does get the full effect.
All right, 1 second. 6 + 6, 12. 12 points of damage, and then next on your attack roll, you have disadvantage as well.
Okay.
And I'm gonna roll to see if I get out of the whatever thingy.
Yes. The spell.
It's a natural 18. 19.
Yep, that beats it. So
Next.
for your next turn, you're fried. Bailey.
Okay. With Black Razor, I rolled a nat 20 to hit.
Okay. Double damage.
Is anybody within 5 feet of it?
Lucan is. Lucan's in melee range.
Okay, so can I still use sneak attack?
Yeah.
Okay, that's only gonna be 6 points of damage.
That's your ×2.
Oh no, ×2 would be 12. My bad.
Okay. So 144.
And then the wisdom save.
Yep.
Only
What is it?
8.
8. Okay, yeah. So the effects are still there. Now it is going to attack. This time it's going after Bailey, which it got a 17 and a 12, so it only hits one time with 19 points of bludgeoning damage, but you have resistance, so it'll take 8. Back at the top at Luke. Yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say, can he use his I mean, I can use it whenever, I guess, but can he use his reaction?
No, you're
Oh,
still under
okay.
the specs of
Oh,
spell. So.
oh, yeah.
Yep.
My bad.
That's okay.
Okay.
Oh, so yeah, Lucan, go ahead.
That's an 18. And so I assume that hits, and
Yep.
then 11 points of damage.
11. Okay.
And then
You only get the one, but this is the wisdom.
yeah,
Okay.
16.
Okay. Yep. Still in effect. All right, Elowen.
Elowen's going to cast Erupting Earth
Okay.
around the creature. Has to be a saving throw of 16 dex.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay, so let's see. Bailey and Lucan would have to roll as well because they're within a 20-foot cube.
Sorry about that, guys.
Dexterity saving throw.
21.
4.
Got 19.
Okay.
So it's 3d12 bludgeoning damage or half.
Or half.
So just roll 1d12 Bailey and 3d12 Lucan.
Right.
And
And then I'm
deep...
also still resistant to bludgeoning.
Yes, you're still resistant to bludgeoning, so you'll take half. Then yeah, just roll 1 then.
I only rolled a 2.
Okay.
I rolled a 1. Oh wait, no. Wait, what was I supposed to roll? Never mind.
Just 1d12.
1. Okay, that was what I rolled. Never mind. That was a 1.
Okay. The ground in that area now becomes difficult terrain. Let me see. Go ahead, Thal.
She's gonna cast Eldritch Blast. Mathing my head because I rolled 22 points of damage.
Okay.
Only reason I have this much damage is because I have 2 bolts right now.
Hey, no, absolutely.
Plus 6.
Plus 6?
No. That's like I have
Okay,
the 2
part
dice
of it.
plus 6. Yeah.
Okay. Bailey. Oh, don't forget your wisdom.
Me?
Yeah.
I have to do it again?
You're already out of
Yeah.
it. Oh, you're out of it. Yeah.
24 to hit, and then is Lucan still within 5 feet?
Both of you are.
Okay.
Oh, you'll be rolling disadvantage because of difficult terrain.
With disadvantage, it's 23. What
Okay.
did I say before? Either way, it's over 20.
Yeah.
12 points of damage?
12? Okay. Alrighty, this one is going after, let's see, it would still be in combat with Lucan. So it rolled. That's not, but that is. So Lucan, you're going to be taking 9 points of damage. That's half of what it would have been because of bludgeoning. Resistance. Back up to you, Lucan.
All right. So my first roll was a 15, which I don't know that will hit anyway.
No.
And my
It's a
second roll
17.
was, yeah, my second roll was 24, so it's disadvantage. It's fine.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Oh wait, and then wisdom, right?
Yeah, wisdom saving throw.
12.
Damn. Elowen.
Elowen is going to do Thunderwave again at first level. So con of 16 and 2d8.
You said con?
Mhm.
I think it has a +5 to that. Yep. So 16 plus 5, 21.
Half of that is 4.
Okay. Thal.
So I was going to cast Eldritch Blast again because it's working so well for her. If I can Why Milo dies. God damn it. Okay, there it is. That's another 22 points of damage. And then she's gonna, as a bonus action, cast Bardic Inspiration on Lucan. So for the next 10 minutes, you can add a 1d8 to any ability check, attack roll, or saving throw. And this can be rolled even after you roll. So you can add it to it. Just before Trace says anything.
Okay, so with that 22 damage, the stone golem of the crowned elf dissipates and crumbles, and a new key floats above you,
Me?
like
Or
above
Lucan?
the crumbled boulders. So either Bailey or Lucan could grab it.
Lucan's
grab
gonna look at Bailey and be like, "Do you want to grab this one?" Not a little off my game.
Yeah, Bailey will grab it, and on my last turn, my wisdom save was a 21.
Okay, so you're out of it now. Okay, go ahead.
She takes the key and releases the next one.
Okay. The next one is a 12-foot tall crowned human stone golem that appears in its place. You're up first, Bailey.
A 27 to hit.
Okay, don't forget that is disadvantage because of the difficult terrain.
21.
Okay, that hits.
$17 points of damage.
Okay. Alrighty, and then this one goes after both Lucan and Bailey. Lucan is free, and Bailey is free as well from that attack. Back up to Lucan.
Alright. Is the spell from the last one still...
It still stays intact, yeah.
Okay.
But you should be able to get out of it with your bardic inspiration now.
If they choose to use it.
Yeah, if you want to use it.
So you can roll
How often can I use it?
just once.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do I add it to my...
for 10 minutes. Just kidding. So you can add it.
Okay, so when I rolled a hit, can I also use that?
Yep, you can add 1d8 to it. To your roll. So for next 10 minutes, you can do it every time you roll.
Okay. So... I rolled a 16 and a 17. So...
For a hit?
Yeah.
So
Okay,
then
the 17 hits.
But
Unless
that was
you're
the disadvantage, so 16
okay.
to
plus
hit.
you can add a 1d8 to it.
I did.
Oh, never mind. Damn it.
And that does hit then?
Mhm.
Okay, I'm
No,
sorry.
it does not. 16
Oh,
does
okay.
not hit.
Oh, okay, my bad. And then
Yeah, it was
roll 8.
You can add. Oh, did you add it? Okay, never mind. I'm gonna stop asking.
Well, no, it'd be a 10 because I forgot to add my modifier.
You're cute.
It's fine. Fine.
Righty. Next is Elowen.
He's gonna cast Moonbeam at 3rd level. Con of 16.
I got 15.
Let's see. 19 plus another 21 points of damage.
Alrighty. Elowen, roll a Constitution saving throw.
2.
2. Elowen, with the stone gaze, you're instantly petrified and incapacitated.
Okay.
Let's see.
That's not kind of a charm, is it?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
No. And then, so now we'll go to Thal.
Is she like paralyzed?
She's petrified, turned to stone.
That's not
She's not dead.
okay. Well, I have lesser restoration, and it doesn't count for petrified.
Has to be greater.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe call upon your patron. You never know. But I would worry about the
I
column
can't
first.
call her. Her phones don't
Maybe.
work.
Maybe you never know. Maybe some other way.
I don't. Okay, I'm gonna scroll and to think about that. What you're thinking about. I don't know how you want me to contact her.
We'll play it. How the rule of cool.
All right, what would Evelyn like?
Okay, your time is up. Now we're on to Bailey. Just kidding. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, she's gonna see one of the crowns on one of the golems, and she's gonna take one of the crowns that's like scattered on the floor, even if it's big and whatever. She's gonna be like, Evelyn, if you can hear me somehow through this magic phone and this crown, I could really use some help with the Elowen's status right now.
You get 6 words during your turn. Yeah, and you get an answer. Oh no, scratch that. Not 6 words. You get 1 sentence and then 1 reply, but that's it during combat.
Okay. That was a really long sentence.
I'll count it as a run-on.
I was thinking about it, I'm like, Evelyn, I just need help.
Okay, and then Bailey.
That's a 10 to hit.
Does not.
Okay.
The stone golem doesn't attack. It goes into a resting phase to heal some damage. Okay, back to Lucan.
Okay. So that is a nat 20.
Okay, double damage.
So that is a 7. And then I also get the extra roll as well, which was a 11.
11 plus what? Or 11 altogether?
No, 11 was my second roll because I have
okay.
brutal critical.
Okay, what's the damage?
I don't remember what I said on the first one.
Yeah. You got a 20 and then you rolled an 11. Unless you had an attack. I don't remember. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay. We'll go. So I rolled a 5, 6, 7,
So
8, 9, 10,
10.
11.
11, okay.
And then my second roll will be a 8.
Okay.
I don't remember what I got the first roll. I don't know.
You're okay.
And then
okay.
I will roll my wisdom, which is a 17, 18,
there
19.
You go.
Woo!
finally out of the slow spell. All right, so we'll skip Elowen's turn and we're going to Thal.
Hearing no response from Evelyn yet, she's going to cast Eldritch Blast. Really hope that she comes. I had the math. 21 points of damage.
Perfect. So that's overkill. the stone golem dissipates and crumbles, and the third and final key appears.
I was gonna run to Elowen and not the key.
You feel the presence of Evelyn with her magic, allowing you to cast a spell at a higher level, but you'll suffer an exhaustion point.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to do it. Well, what do you mean by higher level? Like greater restoration?
Yeah, you can do greater
Okay.
restoration,
Even
but
though
you'll suffer
I don't
from
have it.
correct.
Okay.
But you have lesser, so you
Yeah.
can. I'll allow it to go to greater.
Okay. She's going to cast that on Elowen. She's gone! Oh my god!
Evelyn returns from her petrified state in a restorative magic.
Beautiful.
Then you'll suffer that exhaustion point.
Yes, I will. Somebody grab the key?
I can grab it.
Right, you now have all 3 keys, and there are 3 keyholes on the door ahead of you.
Elowen, you missed it. I cast greater restoration on you with the help of Evelyn, and you're back. I can't hear you.
Thank you. I had no idea what happened.
I don't know either, but thank God, like, Evelyn helped me with that thing, but we have all 3 keys now, and you're okay.
I'm okay. I'm not hurt. I turned to stone. That was so weird. Well,
Yeah.
we have to defeat her now.
Or I'll
You
just
guys
turn to
please?
stone.
Bailey will hand the third key to Elowen.
Ellen will take it, and she'll put the third key in the hole.
You guys ready for this?
No.
I don't think that we have much of a choice.
Anything we need to talk about first? And she'll put the second key in.
Well, if I'm remembering correctly, he said that we have to do some kind of ritual, right?
Yes. With the circle with candles.
We have to write her name. We have to light the candles and then write her names in the book, right?
Right.
He said it would be paper.
The Princess of Glass, Lady of Demon, Omen, Seeker of 3 Crowns, something like that.
The Lady of Dead Omens.
That one. I can read my handwriting.
All right.
You put all 3 keys into the hole?
Lucan will put in the last key.
Alrighty. The door opens up to reveal a large circular chamber heavy with the scent of dust and stale air. A 50-foot high dome of crystals panels forms from the ceiling. Tall bookshelves stand perpendicular to the curved wall in 6 places. The space between each pair of shelves is set with a table, a scribe's desk, and several chairs, with 6 tall panes of smoky gray glass hanging on the walls, one in each of the compartments. At the center of the space, a ritual circle 30 feet across is inscribed into the stone floor.
Alright.
So we have to light the 6 candles.
Are you ready?
We have to write our intent to free her. I don't know if we say her 3 names first and then write the intent to free her, or if we have to write her names. I don't remember.
Write 3 names, and then it says, write the intent to free Nintra, and the fight will begin. So, we'll write it 3 names. And we just write intent to free you? Is that literal?
I guess so. Bailey will take her tinderbox and light a match and light the first candle.
Okay.
Elowen will cast Dudecraft and light the second one.
I will step back and away from the fire, because even though she's human, she's still afraid of fire.
Lucan will take his tinderbox and also light a candle.
So I'm going to help you out as a DM. You have one shot of this ritual being correct.
And we're not right.
And I'm just telling you that now to make sure that you were doing the exact correct thing. And don't forget, you can always roll history to remember what the ritual was.
Rolling history. That's a 22.
So you remember what the ghost said was anyone who is imbued with the scrivener's mark must stand in the ritual circle, light 6 candles, and invoke all of the names of the princess. The marked character must use the parchment and ink found in the circle to express in writing their intent to free Nintra. Once she has been reduced to 0 points of damage, um, you must extinguish the candles.
Okay. So we all need to stand in the circle.
Mhm.
Inside the candle circle. Okay. I will step in.
It's gonna be okay, Thal. Bailey will light the 4th candle.
We have the parchment and ink right here. It's on the floor, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Step in the circle. She'll light the 5th one.
And Lucan from the inside of the circle will light the 6th.
Alrighty. So, a cool hush comes over as all of the candles turn into a purple flame. The room goes eerily silent and cold, and then eventually, from the top of the room, you see this black, smoky, purpley kind of appearance, and this vain-looking woman, elven woman, appears, who is believed to be Nintra. And then she looks at you all and she says, "Fine, now suffer." I'm roll initiative.
We didn't finish the ritual though.
I think
Oh,
It's
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Well, you say her
yeah,
names, we're at the intent.
yeah.
We did it. Retcon. There we go.
I knew you guys would.
Yeah. Nailed it.
All right, so Ellen, what'd you get?
She just got a 9.
A 9. Thal,
21.
Bailey,
12.
and Lucan.
19.
All right, so it'll be Thal. Oops. Thal, Lucan, Bailey, Elowen. So Thal, you're up first.
Alright, Thal's going to cast good old trusty Eldritch Blast. Oh, that's cool. Oh god, what's 9 plus 9? 18, right? 24 points of damage.
Okay, let's see here. Why is this not coming up? I don't understand where that went. I had her, there it is. Okay. Make sure that that's pulled up. She has that amount of health. Okay, you said 19?
20. Wait. 25, right? Did I say 25? 19, 18 plus 6. 18, 19,
Yeah,
24.
24.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Looking.
Alright, it's gonna hold up his shield and go in to rage and go in for the double attack.
Okay.
So first to hit was a 18. And then 23.
Okay.
So 15 was the first
AC
damage.
damage. What'd you roll for AC for both of them?
I don't know. It was like an 18 and 20 something.
Okay, yeah, those hit.
I
Those
think
hit.
I know they were higher numbers. That's all I
Okay.
know. Okay, and then second damage roll is a 14. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead, Bailey.
Not 20 to hit.
Okay. Double damage.
15, and then so that would be 30. And then with sneak attack, since she hasn't attacked yet, that adds another 6, so 36.
Damn.
Okay, and then Elowen.
He's gonna cast Thunder Wave, first level, con 16 that she has to beat, and then I'll let you know the damage after.
Full damage.
Full damage, 12.
Alrighty. So, she is going to cast Storm of Shattered Glass. Let's see. Each creature in the sphere must make a DC Dexterity saving throw.
Cool.
One.
22.
16.
Lucas.
13.
Anyone below a 20. Basically the glass panels that was around the room shatters and turns into a swirling vortex around the room. Anyone who failed that is going to take 28 slashing damage. If you succeeded, you'll take half.
I
With
am resistant to slashing as well.
Okay.
with evasion, I should be able to dodge that and only take half damage on a fail.
Okay.
That still really hurts. Ow.
How much damage was it?
28.
So 14 is half.
Correct.
Is Barkskin still active?
Yes, but you can't add. Yeah.
Resistances. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And then after that, she uses her legendary action
Smiles.
to use Shadow Strike. Where her shadow extends across her, like goes away from her to Bailey and makes 2 claw attacks, each identical. But instead of piercing, it deals psychic damage. So that would be, if it's 2, that's 24 psychic damage.
Bailey cries out and starts to look pretty hurt.
Can Lucan use a bonus action now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna use Spirit Shield for my bonus action.
Bonus action or reaction?
No, or it's reaction.
Okay.
My bad.
Go
So
ahead.
I can reduce that damage by 2d6 because of my supernatural protection.
So that would be 13. So add 13 back to your health.
Thank you, Lucan.
Welcome.
All right, and for her final movement,
Fuck.
What the
Fuck the fuck.
fuck?
We're gonna die. There's no way of surviving this.
Nintra Sayad is an archfey. She's a very powerful archfey. Top 10 in D&D lore. She uses Face Step and teleports on the other side of the room. So it's now where Thal and Elowen are. Back to top of Thal.
She's going to scream, and let's cast Eldritch Blast again. Damage.
Okay.
And yeah. It's a bonus action. I can't leave the circle, right?
Correct.
Okay. Not gonna leave the circle. Alright, that's all I want to do.
Okay. So in a blaze of white light and like almost like an icy blue flash, from the other side of the room, another creature enters. Something else comes into play. It's a woman that you can tell feminine looking, with, it looks like her hair is like dark blue, and she's got it like kind of down to her shoulders, not necessarily like tied or anything, but they're like kind of resting here. And it looks like she has like either white like bands of bows or something in her hair. And she looks very like dark skin, maybe very tan. And she's holding onto these two swords made of bright white looking magic in her hands. And she attacks Nintra with 46 points of damage for the first hit.
Jesus.
First hit? Okay. Okay.
She's dual wielding. And 32 on the other.
Okay.
And you hear Nintra go, "What? Not you!" But the other woman doesn't say anything. So now it is, let's see, Lucan went, so Bailey.
Is there an enemy within 5 feet of her?
No,
Okay, then that's only 6 to hit.
that does not hit. Elowen.
He's gonna cast Moonbeam. Con 16.
Fails.
Okay, give me 1 second. 16. 25 points of damage.
25 points. You hit her with that blast of moonlight energy, and she goes, "This can't be!" And then she looks at Elowen, and she uses a layer action. To use the shards of glass that's been spinning around the air, to attack specifically Elowen. Roll a dexterity saving throw. What'd you get?
1.
1. Okay. So you'll take 13 piercing damage.
13.
Yes.
Okay.
The shards fade away into vapor. And the pains like is restored to the wall. And then she uses her other to target the woman that entered the room. Let's see here. Briefly transforming into a swirling vortex, creature must succeed a 20 strength saving throw, but she got a fucking 20, bitch. Sorry, that was really exciting. I was really kind of nervous. I was like, shit, a DC 20 strength saving throw. Or be drawn into the vortex. The creature is then transported. It doesn't matter. Back at the top at Thal.
Thal's going to. How hurt you are. For good measure, she's just going to cast Healing Word on Elowen real fast. At just a second. Find it. Sorry. D4. Okay. Let's roll it twice.
Okay.
That's 7 points of healing back to you.
Thank you.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
welcome.
Okay, then Lucan.
All right. So 19 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then his second attack 18 to hit.
Both hit.
All right. So first damage is 7.
Ooh, she's
Second
close. She's close.
is 9.
9 points.
Yeah.
How do you want to do it?
Yay!
She was at 8 points.
So he's actually going to so he's gonna make the first hit, and then he's going to actually kind of toss his shield down, not like throw it, but just like kind of put it next to him, take both hands onto his weapon, and like right down the chest. Just
Okay.
like big whack, like right here.
Hell yeah. So she goes in and she just crumbles into like crystal shards, and like light emanates from her, and then she like drops to the floor.
Thal then will immediately cast Shape Water on all the candles to blow them out fast.
Okay.
Finishing the ritual.
So the spirit dissipates, and like you just feel this like boom kind of emanate, and like dust and like fall from the ceilings as like she finally has disappeared. You see the ink removed from your skin as the curse has lifted. The woman with the two magic blades of swords, she like the magic like dissipates and goes back into her like hilts, her chassis. Um and then she looks down at the pile of crystal and rubble, and she looks up at you, and you finally kind of see she's got like it looks almost elven type of paint, of white paint across her eyes or her face and things like that. um and she looks at you and she says, "You all fight very well."
Thank you. Thank you so much for saving us. Who are
Nintra, she gets up before putting like one of the shards of her and sticks it into her bag, and she says, "Nintra was one of my soul enemies, and the moment I found that she was resurrected, I came. My name is Ahsoka. Ahsoka Tano.
Hi.
Who are you all?
Well, I'm Elowen.
I'm Thal.
My name is Bailey.
Lucan's gonna pick up his shield and then, like, nod. I'm Lucan.
And you are?
You didn't
And
hear
she
me.
looks directly at. Oh, I didn't know.
Oh. So I'm Thal.
It is a pleasure. I see you all fight very valiantly, and your battle with Nintra is quite amazing.
Well, it
Who do you
was
study under?
well, I currently am under Evelyn, Claire, and I guess the Guardian, Elliot Spellman, right?
What do you
And
mean, study under?
who taught you how to fight so well?
Us. Well,
I train with an organization.
The weave flows very powerfully through you all. May it always guide you. I'm from far, far away from here.
Here.
Place you wouldn't know. It's not of this earth.
oh, like one of the other story realms, I guess.
You could say that. Possibly one could say it was the edge of the galaxy, if you will, from where I'm from.
Galaxy. Wow.
But it was one of my duties to rid those who defy our sacred order, and Nintra was one of those. I must thank you for defeating her.
Well, you did a lot of the heavy hitting. But yeah. Thank you. Do you want to join our team? We could use somebody like you.
Unfortunately, my time here will be short, as I have others who come before me that I must defeat as well. I'm sure our paths will cross again,
Okay. Yeah.
but I will journey with you back to where you're from, but then I must depart.
Awesome. I think all we need to do here is get rid of these marks before I turn to stone and all the bad things happen. So I think we just gotta go back up, right guys?
Yeah, and then we're off to our next task.
Which,
Ask?
yeah. We have a friend that's stuck. Not stuck. We already did that already. We have to, I don't know, defeat, I guess, Maleficent now. And we have to go to the Undying. We have to die, I guess, technically. And we have to get these ingredients to, like, be undied, but dead.
Maleficent. She's the dark fae of Everas, yes?
Yes.
Mhm.
You know
Are
her?
you aware of where you are?
Everas?
I mean, if you're asking, then maybe we aren't.
This is the shadow of Everas, a place where nightmares roam.
How did how did we get here? We weren't supposed to be here.
Interesting.
Did something happen when we got Elliot back?
I sensed a powerful movement in the weave here on Everas not long ago.
Well,
Something must have happened to either transport you here.
Mal and Obsidius did do something at the ball. Suddenly all our friends got changed and Eliot, the prince, and our other person we know, Sapphiria, got transported somewhere, and we're trying to at least save Eliot.
Wait,
Are you sure they were the ones who were transported?
what if it was us?
But they're okay? Oh, we have to gotta get Evelyn. We have to get out of here.
She's alone. Who knows what could get her down here?
I mean, we can't call her from inside here. We have to get out of here to reach her. And I'm sure she could zippy-doo-doo all day her way back here. Oh.
Interesting. Well, come on. Let's go. And you all follow Ahsoka out of the ruins and back onto the surface. And for the first time, you kind of realize that the sky outside doesn't look natural. It doesn't. Something about this world feels familiar, but it doesn't feel like home.
So many things have changed.
We just didn't realize it.
We were just so gung-ho to get like the pixie wings, the goblin tongue, and dragon tears that didn't pay attention, I guess.
Interesting. Well, be careful, friends.
Thanks, you too.
Thank you for your help.
I'm sure we will meet again sometime.
Do you know how we can get back to our world?
I'm not from here, but if I was, I would seek out someone who has adapted to the weave, who's a master of the Magi.
Well, okay. Well, that's a problem.
Why?
I don't think he is here. Eliot, who we keep talking about, I think he's the most masterful person we know of the weave.
Here. I have an idea. And she goes over and you see that she has a horse. And she gets something out of her bag. And it looks like some type of like magical mechanism. It kind of looks like a telescope type of like thing. And she sets it and sticks it down in the ground, and magic emanates out of it, and it like creates a dome over you all, and you see constellations and stars and moving planets and things all around you. And she says, what was his name?
Eliot Spellman?
He's here. And she points towards a constellation of stars.
What does that mean?
That means that he is somewhere in this realm of nightmare.
Okay, well that's good and bad news. That means we gotta get him as well to get back. Does that mean we have to make him go to sleep again?
Hold on. There's another one of him. There. On a place called Everas. That planet looks in danger.
That's home.
That is true. The creature you call Obsidious must have transported you to the nightmare realm. And your friend Eliot, either he has a doppelganger, or his true spirit lies within the nightmare, and you never awoke him in the first place.
Do you think part of him got stuck here?
I think he never left.
And it was Obsidious the whole entire time.
That's not good.
Okay. Well, first we have to find Evelyn and tell her everything that we have to tell her. And then we gotta track Eliot down in here, and then we gotta figure a way to swap them out. Oh, this is a lot.
Yeah. And figure out a way out. This might change our whole plan.
That means the Elliot that is acting as king That's not good.
That's why he wanted all that power.
Why he approved of the engagement.
Why Sapphiria thought it felt wrong.
I didn't see him much when I was there. I didn't notice because I didn't spend that much time with him. But Sapphiria must have knew something was off. Or
I
maybe
mean,
it's
she said. Sorry.
No, you're
Okay.
good.
I was just gonna say, I mean, didn't she say that she thought he was off? That something wasn't right?
Well, yeah, he couldn't cast magic. But maybe he couldn't cast magic because he wasn't Eliot. He was Obsidious.
If Obsidious showed his magic, they all would have known. No wonder he kept under lock and key. That kind of darkness? Anybody would have felt that.
Here, take this. And she hands you a crystalline-looking crystal that is white, pure white. And she says, if you need help in a pinch, crush it, and you can summon me.
Oh, thank you.
They call these Kyber crystals where I'm from.
Paper crystals. Curious. Sorry.
It's embedded with the powers of something we call the Force, and something you call the Weave. But I have to go. And she takes the thing out of the ground and tucks it back onto her horse as she hops on top of it.
Thank
Be
you.
careful. This world of nightmare and darkness is not to be messed with. Stick together. Do not wander.
Okay.
Trust only in yourselves.
Thank you so much for helping us find our way.
I try. Good luck. Yeah. And she gallops out of sight.
Ezra. Sorry. That was Ashley in the distance. Thal will take out her magic sphere and like kind of like lower it for a second and then look back at it again. She's like, maybe somebody else should call Evelyn.
Yes, of course. I'll do it. And Elowen takes hers out, and she like does doot 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 doot. Evelyn, can you hear me?
Evelyn immediately picks up without even a ring happening. She's like, I have been trying to get a hold of you all for a long time. Are you all safe?
Yes, for the most part, but you need to come here right away.
Where is here?
We found the Scrivener. We found it. Your curse should be found. We're in the ruins outside that city.
Haven of the Red Quill.
Haven of the
Haven of
Red Quill.
and the ruined city.
We're
Yes,
outside
we're
of it
just
now.
One moment. And she ends the call. And a few moments later, she appears in a puff of black smoke and purple magic.
Thal hides behind Lucan.
Okay, fill me in. What's going on?
Hey, do you want the good news or bad news first?
Good news. I can handle the bad.
Okay, good news first. Thal died, but I brought her back.
Oh, you're talking about the brown-haired girl.
Yes.
Yeah, I see through this. This is an easy thing, though. A transmutation spell that we can easily reverse.
Oh, I can be officiate?
Did it?
Yes, if that's what you're supposed to be. I saw right through you. I'm your patron, after all.
Oh, okay. That's good. I thought you were
Okay.
gonna be like, who the fuck are you?
No. I'm not that weak.
Never said you're weak. You're pretty strong.
Well, thank you. All right. So, what's the good news?
No, that you told me to give you the good news
Oh,
first.
I'm sorry, the bad news.
The bad news is, everyone didn't disappear. We
What do you
did.
mean we saw what? We saw them all disappear.
It was us
Ahsoka said that we're in the shadow realm.
of nightmares.
So you're telling me that we are in the void?
Yes,
Eliot's here too.
but also
Jeez.
on Everas.
We never
For
saved Eliot.
Whoever
Obsidious
is
is the one who returned.
He tricked
Well, I
us.
used a genie wish for it.
He must be stronger than that kind of magic then, I guess.
It makes sense. This is why Mao was able to evade the genie wish. The good news is there are no other villains here. It's just Mao.
Okay. So we got dragon tears. That's also good news. Do we need to
we're not.
see Hades anymore?
Dragon tears, you have them. Well, actually, that's very good that we have them here. Our next step, our next plan of action, if we are in the void, and you said that we didn't resurrect Eliot,
No, Eliot's here. That's what the map and Ahsoka said.
then that means we find Eliot.
How?
Where did she say he was?
She just points to where the stars were.
Up in the sky.
You pointed to a constellation, and I didn't quite understand where she was pointing.
A constellation.
Mhm.
Did you happen to remember what it looked like to her? You can roll nature.
It's my nature. 24.
You remember the constellation looked like a tower.
It looked like a tower.
Ah, the Gothel constellation. I know where he is. It's far from where we are in this version of Everas, but I can get us there close. Have you ever been to Corona?
No.
Beautiful kingdom during the summertime, but terrified of what could be out there.
Okay.
Evelyn, I think we should stick together from now on until we get out.
I agree. The city was awful. The dreamlists were everywhere. And I saw someone who I thought was long gone. It doesn't matter about who they are now. Got rid of them. But are you all ready? I have enough strength for yet one more teleportation spell.
Okay. Yeah, I think getting the closest to Eliot, getting him back and seeing if he's okay is priority, right?
Yeah, I'm ready to save him. For real this time.
That's important. Now, hold hands.
Hold hands.
And you are overtaken by the wisp of his her magic, and you are transported to what seems to be an eerie looking forest where some trees are made of like just black inky sludge. It's dark. Some of the trees are dead. Crystals and giant mushrooms grow out of some of the tree beds and things like that. But you are staring directly at a cliffside with overgrowing vine. Evelyn steps forward and she pushes open the vines and she says, "In here."
Okay.
When
Follow
you
orders.
um, uh, go into this kind of inlet surrounded by caves, but off in the distance, you see this large tower protruding from the ground. Um, and there's a beautiful cascading waterfall over the edge. And the tower has kind of almost what looks like a witch's hat top. Um, and she says, if anything, I bet you he's in there.
It's felt really easy. Is it okay if it's easy? You like touch something and suddenly die and have hair.
Don't touch anything.
Okay. I technically didn't. It technically was Mage Hand.
Sometimes that is what happens. Um, you go forward, um, and you get to the tower, and you see that there's no door inside to go inside of the tower.
Shoot. We have to climb things again. She looks at Bailey.
All right. We've learned a lot.
Does
Check.
anyone have any rope?
Bailey looks at Lucan.
He pulls out like this big pile of rope.
Perfect, that will do. Hand it over.
Evelyn, I can spider climb up there
Oh,
with the
don't
rope.
worry. Don't worry. We'll be fine. And you see her cast the rope over as what looks to be it turns like black and inky, and you see it like climb up the tower like a snake and then wrap around itself, and then she loops in the bottom of it, um and she makes 5 different loops, and she climbs up to the top one, and then she just says, stick your foot in the loop, it will pull us up.
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
Thal does that.
Elowen
As
does too.
Lucan's putting his foot into the loop, he's like, "Am I gonna get this stuff back?"
You can have it back just fine. Um,
Fair enough.
the rope pulls you up to the tower where a like an outcropping of a window is, and then you step on the inside of the tower, and you see that there are these beautiful like paintings, like gallery looking paintings with lanterns all around in different areas. Um, and you see like curtains and furniture, and looks to be someone's type of room. But then you see someone in the middle of the room, um, who is sitting on a chair, not with her face you, but her back to you. She has long, black, tendrily looking hair. And you first thought they were shadows, but her hair goes all around the room in different tendrils and spandrels, almost like a cocoon or a spider's nest.
Thal will take one step forward. Hi, are you okay?
The woman stands up and she turns, and you see her eyes are thick and black.
Oh, we mean no harm. We thought our friend was here, but we could be your friend too if we need to. Do you know an Elliot Spellman?
How did you find me?
A constellation? And
Really looking
Lights
for you.
guided you here?
mhm, ours.
No one's come to my tower since the boy was here.
Boy?
And she lifts her finger over to the wardrobe.
Just you have a dead body in there.
Elowen walks over to the wardrobe and she slowly opens it.
The wardrobe looks like bigger on the inside when you open it. There's no clothes or anything, but you see a man hunched over, um, and like knees pulled up to his head, his hair brown and scraggly, and it sounds like he's been weeping. And then when you look up, you see that it's Eliot. He looks absolutely drained, malnourished. He has scars and bruises and gashes all across his body. His robes are tattered. And he looks directly at you, Elowen, and he says, Elowen, is that really you?
Yes, we're all here. Take my hand.
How do I know this is not just another nightmare?
Because there's certain items that you gifted us. We got your wand, and the fairy godmother has it.
Elowen, I watched you die over and over again.
I'm alive. We're all alive. It's okay. We're here to help you. We'll keep you safe. Trust me.
Reluctantly, Eliot grabs Elowen's hand and he like falls over and then Elowen obviously would help him, get up, and he brushes himself off and bags under his eyes like this. He looks like he has been through the ringer, through the again and again and again, and he looks at you all and he just busts out in tears.
Elliot. She runs to hug him. It's okay.
Are you Thal?
Yeah, I had a mishap. Um, Evelyn said she could fix it though.
Evelyn looks over at Eliot and she's like, how are you, Blue? And Eliot says, I've been better. And he looks over to the girl with the black hair and he says, thank you, Rapunzel. And Rapunzel, she says, of course. We're going to be able to do something about my hair, yes? And Eliot says, of course. Now that my friends are here, we'll right the wrong. And Rapunzel says, good, because I don't want to hurt anyone anymore.
Hurt? Did you hurt?
Eliot goes over to Rapunzel's side, um, and he looks at her and he says, it's okay. And Rapunzel looks kind of very sad, and she says, I hurt him. I thought he was an intruder, an invader, a ruffian. And you see Elliot pulls out his hand and you see like just like kind of like necrotic looking like skin and veins and part of his arm. And he says, it's okay, Rapunzel. You you didn't know.
Right. So how do we fix everything? I guess we could be the keepers we're supposed to be now. There are mishap. She double checks her arm. She's like, haha, it's not there.
Obsidious has taken over my corporal body. I'm not really here. It's my soul.
Okay.
So that would be the first step, is getting my body back.
Which
But
means
I cannot traverse the realms without my heart. And then he looks over at Evelyn. And Evelyn's like, and Eliot just nods his head. Perfect. I've been meaning to meet my niece for some time then. Once we get my heart back, I'll be able to traverse the realms and we can hopefully get back to Everas. Will you help me?
of course. Always.
Yes. How
And
do
we have to...
how
Go ahead.
how does one get a heart back?
Snow White has it in her castle.
How did, how did she get your heart?
When I was transported here, Obsidious did a lot of foul things. There are versions of the princesses in this realm that are dark and terrifying. Look at Rapunzel. She's like, I didn't know. This is just all I knew. I sing a song and I hurt people.
Think you don't think that all the princesses are actually here, right?
No,
Okay.
Rapunzel's the first one I met.
Because something happened at Guardian ceremony. Um, it's Obsidious was there and transferring everybody into the dreamless type peoples. They're like darker versions of themselves, and then suddenly, poof, a whoosh, and then we thought they got whisked away, but we got whisked away instead. So just making sure that we don't have to like pick up every princess again.
Hold on. So you're telling me that he turned people into dreamless?
A form of it, yeah.
So that must mean their enemas are here and their Natmaras are there. So then that must mean more people are here in the void, the real versions of everyone's selves. But if Rapunzel is the Natmara version of herself, that means he has the real one. And if I'm not mistaken, he's going to use the princesses for something bad.
Okay, that's not
Okay.
great. Um, and in the mix of all this, we're trying to find the pillars of Everas as well. We believe that might be the way to defeat Mal and I guess Obsidious.
Pillars were destroyed thousands of years ago.
Thal looks at
But
Evelyn.
Evelyn steps forward and she says, Eliot, I used the genie's wish to get rid of them and to bring you back. Are you saying that if the pillars are destroyed, there's no way of defeating Obsidious? And Eliot looks and he said, just because they're destroyed doesn't mean they can be recreated. There's three, yes? And Evelyn, she shakes her head. Darkness, balance, and light. Una, Obsidious, and Oknos. Then we must create three again. But that is going to take some time.
Okay. Well, that saves us a trip to the underworld to see Hades then. We don't have to rip off wings of a pixie and tongue.
That would have just been
Scary.
horrible.
Scary. The dragon was nice though.
Very.
You met a dragon.
We have his tears. His name was Cool Wow something.
Sapphiria
Well,
would have loved to have seen that.
yeah, her. She was taken too, trying to defend you. I guess not you.
So if Sapphiria was taken, that means her counterpart is here. Huh. Hold on. I think I've just made a revelation. No, couldn't be. All right. Well, let's get out of this tower.
You're free to speak your mind.
No, it's okay. Last time I had a crazy idea, this all happened.
Doesn't mean that necessarily it'll all turn out like this again.
It's okay. I'll save it for a fireside chat with some tea. Oh, I could go for some jasmine tea right now.
Jasmine
me too.
tea. Never heard of that before. Okay. So Rapunzel, this problem we need to put their box together, right?
Yes. Rapunzel, You should probably discharge before we leave. And she goes, okay. And she like looks at you all and she's like, this might be a little scary. And she goes, wither and decay, end this destiny. Break these earthly chains and set the spirit free. The spirit free. And you see her black inky hair like move almost on itself before the black starts to dissipate and return to a golden blonde color. She ties it all back and intertwines it on her back, and her eyes return to normal. Um, and she looks a lot better in this version. And she says, hi, I'm Rapunzel. Sorry about the black hair. It kind of just creeps out. I have no control of it, but I have learned that if I sing, my hair goes back to normal, at least for a little bit.
That's
I
pretty
just,
remarkable.
Elliot thinks that if I remember the incantation from the healing version, and if I sing it, I'll stay normal.
You don't remember it?
No. But it's weird because all my life I've been stuck in this tower singing the same song over and over again, and then all of a sudden one day I forget it. It doesn't make sense. And Mother would be awfully well, it doesn't matter about her anymore. She's gone.
She died?
I haven't seen her in a very long time.
Who is your mother?
And she's black curly hair, red dress, always teasing me. She goes by the name of Mother Gothel.
At that, Thal kind of like mouth falls open. Oh, she might be. I don't. She gonna like whisper to Eliot, be like, I think she's dead.
I thought so too, though. And it seems to be so. When Rapunzel first hid me in her closet, and she was here, but it's been a long time since she's been gone. And she normally comes back every 3 days.
Yeah. She last that well, the last person I saw her alive was probably Sapphiria when she was in the den of villains at Japar's palace.
Oh, that sounds awful. I'm sure Mr. Lonnell never was.
Yeah, yeah. Which is okay. We can always catch you up with one of the fireside chats. What's going on? I know. We didn't think Sapphiria was on our side for a long time because some bad things that we saw her doing, but it wasn't bad. It was actually good. You know,
I trust Sapphiria with my life.
I
We
think
know
we're
that
getting
now.
there.
Okay. Well, we should rest here until we can depart.
That sounds actually wonderful. But she's still bloodied from dying in the last hit. That's pretty bad.
Okay. Well, then we'll rest here tonight. And then tomorrow we will head out. Snow Snow White's palace is not far from here.
That's the one princess I think we kind of met, but didn't really. Story realms. She was really scary looking.
Yeah, she is, because she took on Evelyn's darkness.
Oh, this looks at Evelyn. Like, oh dear.
So
I've
we
told
somehow. Sorry.
uh, I've told you all before, magic cannot be destroyed. It can only be transferred. And my energy had to have gone somewhere, and it must have gone to her.
Okay.
So we somehow get this heart from this evil Snow White. If you get your heart back, will that energy transfer back to you?
I hope not. And she looks over at Eliot. And Eliot says, we'll figure it out. We always do.
And
All right.
if we get this heart, what do we do after? Recreate the columns of the gods and goddess?
Pillars.
The
We'll need
pillars.
if they're reinstated, we'll have enough power to defeat Obsidious. But it takes a lot of time and energy to do so, and I will need 3 conduits. I've chosen myself to be the light.
Will you be
And then
okay?
he looks over at Evelyn, and she says, then I will be the champion of darkness. And then he looks and he says, then that leaves balance. And I trust Sapphiria would do so. The answer to your question about being okay is, I don't know. But if this restores Everas and defeats Obsidious, then it's worth it.
I just don't want to lose any more people.
Don't worry, you haven't lost me yet. But we'll need demon glass.
Okay, that sounds scary.
It's a very powerful magical substance. It only grows underground.
Oh, like in the
And
Ender.
correct.
That cat.
Salem,
Eh. Helpful but not helpful.
well, he'll help me. He may talk in riddles, but he hasn't given me a riddle I haven't solved yet.
Our Wonder Boy.
Tell that to Megara. All right. Let's rest.
Okay.
All right. So I think that's what we'll end tonight's episode if no one else wants to do anything.
No, we could save it for next time. Fireside chats.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Elliot's
Okay.
here.
The real Eliot.
The real Elliot.
So, how are we feeling? Question, comments, concerns, clarifications.
I love Ahsoka so much.
I
I like
that.
battles.
Yeah,
That was a good long battle. I really liked it.
good. I'm
It was
glad.
so fun when Lucan killed her.
Mm-hmm.
I almost feel a little bit bad because I feel
Why?
like I killed Ursula and I like the final kill to Ursula and the like I don't know.
You
Feel
should
like
feel good.
Yeah.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say,
I
feel good
know.
about it.
Yeah.
I
Arbs usually
know.
do.
Yeah.
They usually do the
Yeah.
heavy. You're the heavy hitter.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
need you. Cause and but that was Ahsoka. Like, yeah.
That would have taken a lot longer.
Yeah.
I had to figure out a way to introduce her.
God. She's literally my purse. Like literally my purse. Like her ears and everything. Like it's a Star Wars and it's like her symbol. Like everybody everywhere I go is like, I love your purse, I love your purse. And I'm like, thank you.
Ahsoka's so cool.
Love her so much.
I am no Jedi.
It's funny because in the beginning I did not like her at all because she was annoying.
Annoying.
But as she gets older, she like develops and she's like a true
What
Jedi.
Padawan isn't annoying?
That's true. Anakin also was annoying.
Angsty fucking annoyingness.
I can't wait for the 26th of this month because the Tales of the
When?
Jedi comes out.
Yep.
To find out more of her backstory.
I'm really sad that I learned that The Mandalorian and Grogu are only coming to Disneyland in November.
Yeah. I called Jared and I was like, maybe we should take a trip to to West.
Yes, for sure. Oh, tickets. Have you guys done that?
No, they didn't do it yet.
Um, Sydney and
No,
I
I.
talked about doing it tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay.
Okay,
Lauren,
I'll write it on my hand.
Okay.
yeah,
And
I
then
can text you tomorrow and remind you, Lauren. What
have
would be a good
you created your Disney Plus profiles or your Disney Experience app?
I'll do
I
it tonight.
downloaded it.
Okay,
I
create a
also
profile.
I downloaded it and tried to make an account, and it said my email was already in use, and I didn't feel like figuring out the password because I was coming back from my break at lunch. So that's where
No
I'm
worries.
at.
Yeah, your Disney account expands across all Disney. Like if you have a Shop Disney account, if you have just a regular Disney Disney account,
I have
not this
Disney
is
Plus.
I don't think they're connected, but
They are.
yeah,
I'm downloading it right now, and then I'll make the
perfect.
profile tonight.
Make the profile that way we can exchange plans. That way we can link you guys finally to get you so you can see everything. And then you can get your tickets, load them to your app.